Ladies and gentlemen, we really might be at the end of an era because not only are we shifting from old NBA legends to the new young stars of the NBA, but also inside the NBA might be over. And Gilbert Arenas had this to say on his podcast about it. We also had discussions about this on the podcast, so I just want to talk about this whole thing because obviously I consider myself a member of sports media. Of NBA media. I do think the NBA media landscape has changed so much to the point where, yes, content creators are a part of the media cycle. I'm sorry to tell you, but let's keep it going.
Some potential sad news to report. Inside the NBA is the gold standard for traditional sports media, but the Emmy Award-winning show's future is in doubt. TNT Sports is in a heated battle with NBC for the final piece of the NBA's TV rights deal with TNT's. Damn, Gil.
Oh, nah. Hey, I didn't know what type of energy Gil was about to be on in this video, but that's crazy. And is he on TikTok Live? What is this?
Okay.
They couldn't see the writing on the wall like
They feed some of our families, Gil. Okay?
No, I'm just saying, they couldn't see it 3 years ago? Oh.
Damn.
Nah.
TNT's contract set to end after next season, and the NBC's trying to take over their corner. So ESPN, ABC, and Amazon Prime Video have reportedly already secured their NBA deals for at least the next decade. And on a recent episode of his podcast, Bill Simmons said the NBC deal is already done, and the league is just waiting to make the announcement. So Inside the NBA debuted in 1988, become a mainstay for basketball fans, winning 18 Sports Emmy Awards. Gil, show some compassion.
So what? So
they're gonna be done?
So they're just gonna go to
Or they're gonna go somewhere
NBC.
else?
No, they got to get rehired, right?
So I
By
think
someone else.
Ernie's staying. Charles has an opt-out in his deal where he can dip if they lose the NBA rights.
Staying where?
Wait,
They
Ernie's
have to.
staying.
What are they
He's staying at
Yeah, what are they, so
TNT.
if they
He's
don't
not
have
dipping
NBA
no
rights,
matter
what are
what.
they gonna talk about?
They'll probably just repackage it as NBC will release their own version of whatever. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't.
Two separate.
So this is my question when it comes to this, and not necessarily that the answers are out there right now. Is this gonna be a case of kind of sort of what happened to Through the Wire, and shout out to Kenny and the boys, where like, okay, not a part of Bleacher Report anymore, gotta disband it, but essentially like ESPN isn't rehiring and they didn't take Bleacher Report spot, but would it be a case of Inside the NBA is still probably gonna exist? Maybe one of those dudes don't re-sign. I don't know. Maybe Kenny's out of there type shit. But there's still gonna be a core of Ernie, Shaq, and Chuck. And I don't know. Let's just put Chris Bosh in there or D Wade, and then they're just gonna call it I don't know, Outside the NBA, and just repackage it with different branding. Or is it gonna be a case of, hey man, we want new blood. I can't lie. We want new faces. We want our own version of Inside the NBA. Is going to be completely different with a completely different cast. That's my biggest question when it comes to this whole situation so far.
Shows. Basically just two
No,
separate.
TNT will be done.
TNT be
They don't
done.
have basketball. They won't have the NBA package anymore.
They can do football. They can do.
Ernie Stan.
That's what
Also,
I'm saying.
TNT doesn't
Ernie does-
show
he do
He
basketball.
does
everything.
college. He does everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, so
He's a real
NBA
one. He going down with the
basketball
ship.
in general is off TNT.
He's
So
loyal.
basically,
NBA basketball.
Shaq and
Shaq, Kenny, and Charles.
Kenny can probably survive in college. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No,
can do.
Chuck
Oh,
and
they're still gonna do college
Chuck and Kenny, I think, are still do college basketball shit. They've been doing that for years too.
But what do y'all
In
think
a lot
about
of games.
Yeah, they basically host a college basketball.
just
That's where they
that,
get
but-
March Madness.
That's where they get the
Yeah.
big money too.
Yeah, the March Madness. shit.
what do y'all think about
I also wouldn't be surprised if I'm Chuck or Kenny. Hey man, listen, I think this might be a big theme of 2024. Certain things aren't supposed to last forever. And instead of being sad that it's over, enjoy the fact that it was there. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the fact that the ride even happened in the first place. Pause.
Inside the NBA potentially getting packed up? Y'all know you don't care, but
I don't.
Why don't you care? I just want to know. I'm just curious.
Because he has his own.
Yo, Gil is wild. yeah. I didn't know Gil was about to be reacting like this. Gil does not give a fuck. He's petty as shit. He is petty as shit. He is done with the old media. He is done with the old media.
He has his own show.
Have you ever been on?
He has his own show.
Whatever.
I mean, they've been outdated for a long time. They're just finding out. They should have had this head should have been on a swivel about 4 years ago, when podcasts started to take over.
Yeah.
Any in
it's kind of
particular?
like the podcast before the podcast, because they just got to say whatever they wanted on there, which no other people could do that on TV, but now everyone's doing it on.
I mean, it was a great show, though.
It was great.
I love
I mean, like, I loved it.
Inside the NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was
They're
coming
funny.
up. When it was coming up.
It was coming up.
Yeah.
It's been a part of our lives for a long time.
What, you ain't like it, the last couple of years?
I ain't been watching it since I was like in 12th grade, maybe.
I used to watch. Let me put my camera right here. I used to watch the post game Inside the NBA show. I don't know if that's what they're referring to, but yeah, back in the day when I used to have all the time in the world, yeah, man, I used to stay up, check for the post game analysis. Hell, even watch the halftime show. But now I got too much shit going on to watch the halftime show, dog.
Really?
Damn.
What? You
Inside
haven't
the
watched it
NBA?
at all?
Yeah, TNT, like Shaq and...
No, that's not. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. I thought you were talking about the one that's on NBA TV.
No.
TNT
Oh,
one.
with
No.
Ahmad Rashad and all.
Inside stuff?
Inside, yeah, I'm thinking. I'm like,
12th grade.
Oh, no,
That might be coming back.
Great, where the hell you been?
I'm like, I
Like,
been
what
watching
you
that
been
shit since
watching?
then. I'm like,
Turn it off.
I'm thinking Inside the NBA. I'm like,
Also, calling 12th grade is kind of crazy. I don't know if that's an old people thing, but senior year high school. When I was in high school, 12th grade.
Willow
I'm
Bay.
nitpicking.
NBA on TNT.
Okay, inside stuff.
Yeah,
Inside
yeah.
stuff might be coming back because that was
the league, too.
My bad, that's my bad. No, yeah. No, they definitely gonna be missed. It's, shit, them niggas is funny as hell, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the
They run to the free.
Yeah, all that.
Shaq fell
Everything.
off the chair, like.
All of that. Jack fell into the
Great.
presents, the Christmas, and all that, man. That's just.
So they might be getting packed up, but do you know another basketball show that isn't getting packed up?
Us?
Gil's Arena presented by Underdog Fantasy. Woo-hoo! So come on over, everybody.
They thought they could cancel that.
I think, to Josiah's point, I think this is the beauty of NBA media right now. And while I do agree with Gilbert Arenas on this front, and it also may have to do with just, again, people's objectives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there are, even in media, certain groups of people that don't really care about ownership. I think Shannon Sharp, prior to this last year being the way that it was, he didn't really care about ownership. It's just, yo, who the fuck is going to hire me at a consistent basis that's stable to talk about NBA basketball, to talk about basketball. So that whole ownership conversation is kind of a wash when you're at the levels of a Shaq, Chuck, and Ernie. And also, when you factor in career earnings, other investments that they got, and also opportunities that they got, the idea of ownership, they would really need to care about inside the NBA. Like, for real, that would have to be their main thing for them to not, to essentially panic in this case. I don't think those motherfuckers are panicking. For real. I think they're also too old to panic. I also think they've made too much money to panic. But yeah, in a world where things like this happen so often, I think even the ESPN layoffs were an example of this. Ownership is big. Ownership is where the leverage is at. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between ESPN making a show and them hiring you, and when that show doesn't work out, now you're scrambling for scraps if/when you get fired, and ESPN acquiring Pat McAfee, ESPN acquiring I'm blanking on the name. Numbers on the board. I would also say is an example of this. Because even if ESPN ends the deal tomorrow, while yes, it would be annoying as a fan, the fact that I gotta switch over and now I gotta find out where this new show is, you still have ownership of your brand to the point where you don't ultimately wouldn't have to worry about shit like that as much as inside the NBA, as much as all these ancillary shows that ESPN had throughout the years, you know? So we are in a different time. As far as inside the NBA, me personally, I love inside the NBA. I am not so harsh on it. I understand when I was saying on the podcast I was being a little bit extreme, but I was a big fan of Inside the NBA. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Inside the NBA is doing. I'm also of the belief that, if you have a problem with the way motherfuckers are talking on a certain, specifically in sports, on their platform, there's so many different platforms out there that you can go to get the perspective style that you want. So I don't care how they're talking about basketball, to be honest with you. But for me personally, let's embrace this new age. Let's welcome this new era of NBA basketball with new shows and new staples in the game. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how. Well, Shaq retired in 2011, so Shaq's been doing it, I think, just off rip. After he retired, he went straight to CNT. I don't know how long Kenny and Ernie have been doing it, but fuck it. Let's get some new names in there. And again, I'm not about to be mad that it can't continue. I'm happy that it happened. But let's also embrace this new era. Fuck it. Let's get some new voices in there. Let's get some new hot take guys in there. As far as how I would assemble the roster, if Draymond Green retires, the way Draymond has been showing out these last couple of weeks, trying to get his hot takes off, him being a NBA champion, him being a DPOY, him being as uncensored as he is, I truly think when it comes to this NBA media space, he could be the new Gen Charles Barkley. As far as the other names on that board, I'd like to see LeBron there. But yeah, we'll see though. We'll see.
They can't.
They trying.
They try.
I know Anthony Miracola ain't tripping.
Listen, this is why they all should have been known they were going to get packed up at some point. When athletes start podcasting and then the show itself start using the people's podcasts and content to respond on their platforms, means they're behind the 8 ball on it.
But my only thing, Gil, is I don't think they're getting packed up because Inside the NBA specifically was doing bad. I think it had something to do with just TNT overall, or like a bidding war between TNT and Amazon Prime or NBC or whoever the fuck is gonna get it, and they just lost out. I think it does come to as simple as that. I don't think we have to dig deep into it and talk about how good or bad or how the performance was doing for Inside the NBA, because I don't think that was the case.
Because at some point, it's like, why do we need the second hand? Let's just go straight to the creators of it. So they're getting beat to the information all over the board, and they're just in reaction mode.
Yep.
Right, and that's usually what's been happening. So,
Prop Joe found that out the hard way when he tried to make Marlo the son.
Hey, and it's like this: when you're late to the party, you start to see like where the music is really coming from, right? And you're like, damn, man, we just heard that. And then you come here, you kind of embarrassed because it's like, y'all, we know y'all stealing they shit now. So why would we keep coming to you just because y'all been here too long? Let's go to the new party. For us, we just got to make a bigger venue so we can fit everybody in, because they used to the big crowds, and that's why they still think they could take our content and redo our takes. But now it's like we build a bigger venue for the crowd to come into. Now we can hold our own parties, and we ain't got to worry about them no more.
So if it is the end, NBC taking over, NBC last broadcast NBA game.
I guess the only thing revolutionary about Gil's Arena is the fact that it's live, which is a big thing. But the way Gil and them been doing it, this ain't new.
From 1990 to 2002, during the peak of the MJ era,
Now it sounds
and
like
the
I
Shaq
made
and
it,
Kobe
but it's
Lakers
not new.
three-peat. Some of us on this couch are old enough to remember those days. Some may be a little younger.
Is that that? Dun, 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 dun,
The
dun, dun,
John Tesh round ball rock.
dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's
Basketball. No, I'm just kidding. So what are your favorite memories from the NBA on NBC, Eric Gill, or do you not care?
what is that again?
You wasn't rocking with the NBA on NBC?
Marv Albert.
I'm sorry, but listen.
Marv Albert.
Listen, I don't want to reminisce about a show that's getting canceled. Oh well, goddammit.
We're reminiscing about
Should have hired some younger. You should have hired some younger people in your staff.
Perhaps a three-time All-NBA player?
No, just it had nothing to do with me.
Okay.
I mean, you know, if you're all 60, 50, 70, and there's a new wave of stuff that's coming up, how do you update if you're not listening to them? They're the ones, the TikTokers and all of this, they're moving the wave. So if you're not replacing your staff with younger people, then you get replaced by the younger generation.
I find that interesting, though, because we were talking about it on the pod. Turner Sports has been, in my opinion, the dream company to work with as a sports creator. They are the ones that have been so open to working with content creators over the last couple of years that, in my opinion, when it comes to the independent shit, it is actually a bad thing that TNT is not going to get the rights moving forward. Now, understand, I don't think TNT is going to be looking at a Let's Keep It a Buck. I don't think they're going to be looking at a person like me. But in this conversation of, oh, you should have brought in younger people in there, the TikTokers of the world. That's what Turner's been doing. They got a Kenny Beecham on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a stack. They've worked with guys like me, guys like Legend of Winning, guys like Swiper. We have hosted live streams on the Bleacher Report app before, which is, I believe, now a subsidiary of TNT. So, I disagree with that heavy. I don't know what NBC's plans are moving forward. I don't know if they're going to be so open to working with content creators moving forward, which I do hope they are for my personal sake, my peers' personal stake as well. But yeah, nah. TNT has actually been hella progressive on that department. And I actually think it's the reverse.
Yes.
That's just how it happens. Right? You have to listen to the youth because the youth is the movement. Yeah. We're wise. They have the information.
Yes. Dinosaurs used to rule the earth.
You said Marv Albert?
Say it again?
That's why
Dinosaurs used to rule the earth.
Used to.
Used to.
Something younger came along.
But now you can go see him at Jurassic Park.
Marv Albert is a freak, bro. Said Marv Albert.
It was the 90s, bro. He was turning up.
He was biting on that one.
For three. Marvin Gaye.
All I know is for three. For three.
Freaky guy.
We got 8 more minutes then.
Michael Jordan.
Where you going? Oh, you cutting off the chat. I was
Yeah.
about to say, good, you can't dip. we got to
Cannot leave your own damn
We just
show.
started.
They don't want to see me anyway. They was like, why don't you just put it on Lexi? They just want me to do this right here. They don't even want to see me. That's,
Yeah, we got a minimum minutes requirement before we can get our bread, so you know that, right? We trying to hit, you gotta hit that minimum.
Head ass. I didn't know that. Now let me don't make me pocket watch now. Don't make me pocket watch. But yeah, inside the NBA, I think it is time for a new generation. It is unfortunate in a vacuum, but I'm not too sad because again, it's not like I didn't get my enjoyment out of that period. You know, it's just time for a new era. And I can't really blame TNT the way Gil is, not TNT, but those four specifically and their production staff for not doing their job, because I do think the problem is bigger than just them doing their job. You know what I'm saying? If TNT gets outbidded by NBC, I guess that has something to do with inside the NBA and how they can raise how much TNT can bid. But that's too much out of their control, in my opinion, to blame them. Nevertheless, I'm going to catch y'all next time, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Peace.